What's going on, man? It's your boy Jay Holly, and we are back with another episode of Believe in the Cowboys. You can find me on all of your places where you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit the notification button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I tell y'all every single week, I want to be a part of your family. So pass me around in the group chat, the church chat, the girls chat, the fellas chat, all of the chats that you're in. Make sure you drop the link of Believe in the Cowboys with Jesse Holly, because you know I be spitting that fire. All right, before we get this thing started, man, let's pay some of these bills. Basketball fans, it's that time of the year again. The NBA is back. From opening tip to buzzer beater, BetOnline has you covered with the best odds, biggest promotions, and live in-game betting on all your favorite teams. This season, every game matters. BetOnline has every stat, matchup breakdown, and live odds to bet on during the games. And it's not just NBA. BetOnline has odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, to political props. November 5th. Go out and vote. Head to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here. Woo! Cowboy Nation. I don't want to be messy. I promise you. I want to be the furthest thing from messy. But if you are a Cowboy fan, if you just became a Cowboy fan this week, buckle up, because you are getting ready to go on a journey, a voyage of consistent drama. Okay? Days of Our Lives, General Hospital could not prepare you for the storylines that are the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the Dallas Cowboys actually have a game on Sunday night. They have the primetime game. They are playing Sunday Night Football against the San Francisco 49ers. They're boogeymen. It's the Halloween season. Ooh, it's spooky season. The 49ers are the Cowboys, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Chucky, you name the scary figure in the spirit of Halloween. That is what the Niners are to the Dallas Cowboys. But before we get to the game, there's just been so much. The Cowboys are coming off their bye week, and boy, was Jerry entertaining during the bye week. He had his rant on the radio, threatened to fire some guys and move his show around some guys. Then he came back this week, and he got off of the conversation about firing some guys on the radio. But then Jerry, in his Jerry Jones way, basically threw his head coach / offensive coordinator under the bus. Troy Aikman came out and had some comments about receivers not running off the ball, not running crisp routes, maybe not giving the greatest effort. And Troy's, I think, is credible. I mean, he has a gold jacket, 3 Super Bowls. Pretty credible to me. And instead of Jerry taking the high road and kind of just being like, hey, we love Troy in these parts, but, Troy's not here to evaluate what we do day in and day out. Nope. Jerry says, like I said, Troy's credible. Jerry says, we do have some schemes that our offensive coordinator run that are not good, and some designs that are not good, and some young players. And I'm looking and I'm just like, did he just throw his offensive coordinator / head coach under the bus, talking about, yeah, we do have some bad schemes. We do have some bad play calling, some play design, excuse me. I could not believe it. I could not believe it. And to me, because Jerry Jones is the master of marketing, he is the master. He is the Geppetto. He's the puppet master when it comes to words. These words were very deliberate by Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones didn't stumble over the words about publicly coming out, because this is what Jerry does. This, to me, this is just my personal opinion. My personal opinion that those words that Jerry Jones spoke about Mike McCarthy and his play design and his play scheme were very deliberate. Now, let me just kind of I'm going to walk you into the locker room. You may think that the locker room of the National Football League or at any pro sport is this big old kumbaya. Everyone sits around a campfire and we sing Jesus songs and we do heart hands and all of that. And it's not. Just like your job, in your office, in your cubicles, in your department, everybody doesn't get along. You do your part for the greater good of the company and the success of the thing that you're trying to sell or to do whatever with. But like your office, the locker room is very cliquey. Okay, offensive linemen are over there. You may have guys, Zeke and Dak are best friends, so they probably spend a little bit more time together. And, Brandon Cooks and Jalen Tolbert, those are like besties now, and the DBs. And it's a very cliquey arena. And within that arena, there are going to be guys who agreed with the words that Jerry Jones spoke publicly about his head coach / offensive coordinator, about the design scheme, about the play calling. And so now you're going to have people in that organization, in that group go, man, you know what? Jerry's right. He's right. He's right. I agree with what the boss man said about this scheme, about this play calling, about these designs. He's right. Then you'll have others that was like, I think it's pretty cool. I like the design. I like the play call. Don't really have a problem with it. But you've created this conversation that doesn't need to really be had in the locker room. And then now those that agreed with you and feel the way that you may feel about this, when they now have to go on the practice field, and work on these things that they no longer agree with, do you get their best effort? Do they buy in 100%? Do they give you everything that they got? Because I find it very hard to believe in anything that you do in life. If you don't truly enjoy it, if you don't truly believe in it, believe, B-L-E-A-V, you're not going to do it wholeheartedly. You're not going to do it to the best of your ability. You may run to the wall, but you won't run through it. You may say, I'm going to go all out, but if your heart's not in it, are you? And so now Jerry has kind of given a little bit of leverage to those players that may feel some kind of way. But I say these words are very deliberate from Jerry Jones because you can start your clock. I told you guys a couple of weeks ago, I don't think that Mike McCarthy survives this situation. And this, to me, deliberately begins the separation. This is the starting point of when Jerry Jones now has to either fire Mike McCarthy before the year ends or let his contract at the end of the year just expire. And when the conversation comes up, because the questions will come, whether it be on the radio, whether it be in the media, or however they do it, after the game, however they do it, Jerry's going to reflect back to these words and he's going to say, well, we appreciate what Mike McCarthy has done for us, and we appreciate his time here. But unfortunately, the designs that Mike had and the play calling and the play scheme just didn't fit us anymore, and it didn't fit the players that we had in our system. And so because of that, we're going in another direction. So these seeds, to me, have been planted. Jerry talked about the Derrick Henry situation. First, his thing was we couldn't afford him. Then it was, well, he doesn't fit in our system. And so what this conversation does now is planting the seeds that when I do decide to let Mike go, because honestly, barring any football miracle, this thing is the implosion is beginning. And in barring any football miracle in the last 11 games, I don't see this team finding its way to a winning season. And don't worry, I'm going to get to the Niners game. But these are the seeds that Jerry have planted. And what it also does, one, it absolves him from the situation. Well, I didn't want to let him go, but his scheme and his designs and his calling just didn't suit the guy that we have in the locker room. You know, the talent that we really like. We like our guys. So he kind of separates himself from the equation. Not that those are guys who aren't able to execute this thing are the players that he actually went out and built, right? Remember, he's from Sox to Jocks. He built this team. This team is built on the back of Jerry Jones. These are the players that he decided to bring into this team. So I look at it as very deliberate in what he said, how he said, because what he said wasn't a lie. You know what I mean? There are some flaws in the play designs. There are some flaws in the play schematics. But you don't say that publicly. The words in the message, like the words, the verbal literacy that came out of his mouth, the words are true. The message is wrong. You don't have to display that message on that platform about that man to the public. You can have that. That's a private conversation. But it doesn't stop there, because that's one bit of drama. And then now the next bit of drama is the story about this thing came about tours and is it distraction and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to go too deep in that, because to me, it's a non-story. It is an absolute non-story. If you are a professional football player. Now, I work at the Star. I do a podcast called Hanging with the Boys that you can see 5 days a week on DallasCowboys.com. I'm at the Star every single day. Tours walk by the studio that I work in every single day. Every day. They walk by the lunchroom and all. To me, it is not a distraction. The meeting rooms and such for the Cowboys are on the second floor. The tours happen on the first floor. So you may cross paths with them, maybe leaving the cafeteria area. You may cross paths with them leaving from off the field or going from one part of the building to another, but they can't be a distraction to you. Now, if Bob from Illinois had flown in and he's sitting in your meeting room, distraction. But just because Bob from Illinois is walking through the building, not a distraction. You're a professional football player. You get paid hundreds of thousands. Some of you get paid millions upon millions upon millions. If you can't block out a little 30-person tour, which doesn't even come by your office space, then this ain't the sport for you. You need to go do something else. You need to go work at a cubicle somewhere else where it's locked off and you can't have access to that, because that's a flat out bull. And I'm not saying players on the current Cowboys team say that. And I get the part about things being about football. Trust me, I've been in the New England Patriot organization. I've been in the Bengals organization. I've been in the Cowboys organization. I get it. Those tours aren't a distraction. If you're in the weight room, the glass is a two-sided glass. They really can't see into the weight room. So even if they tap in the glass, that ain't gonna stop you from max setting. If a tap on the glass can distract you and you got 285 pounds on that bench and you can't get it up off of you, you in a world of trouble, buddy. Like, you in a world of trouble. You are in a world of trouble. It's just the drama that it's just always something. Oh, by the way, you're the most positive part of your team right now is your kicker, Brandon Aubrey, Butter. Yeah, he's not at practice this week because Butter Aubrey is at jury duty. He's at jury duty. He is doing his civic duty in Tarrant County at jury duty on a felony case about strangulation. How in the world did he not get that excuse? I don't know. That feels like he wanted to do it. I was a part of the Cowboys organization. I had jury duty. I took it to the appropriate people when I got that letter, and they said, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. That's a true story. I don't know what happened at the end of it. I know I didn't miss practice to go to jury duty. I know that much. And I'm not saying that the man can't. If the man wants to do his civic duty, then by God, brother, do your civic duty and go to jury duty. Have that bag of lunch. Have that. I don't even know what you get paid for jury duty. But jury duty. Like you have to have these conversations. These are the things that they talk about, the distractions. It's just the drama. And we talked about all of those things, and it's the end of the week. And most people have not talked about the game yet. And the Niners being the Cowboys' nemesis, they've been big bro. They've been putting the Cowboys in the headlock and hitting them with the noogie. They've been giving the Cowboys wedgies, atomic wedgies. They've been stuffing the Cowboys in the locker the last couple of years. If there was any time that this Niners team was vulnerable to beat, it's right now. The problem is the Cowboys aren't nearly close to what the teams they were before in the past that still got beat by those teams, were able to challenge those teams in some areas. The Niners are banged up right now. You look at their injury report. Someone jokingly said, I think it was last week, they said like their most healthy receiver on their roster is a guy who got shot 2 months ago. I'm not laughing at Ricky Parsons being shot. I'm laughing at the fact that he was shot 2 months ago and that he is the healthiest guy they have right now. Debo was in the hospital with fluid on the lungs and pneumonia. He was at practice on a limited basis today. Kyle Shanahan said he's probably going to play. George Kittle did not practice. Jawan Jennings didn't practice. And a host of other players didn't practice for the Niners. Brandon Ayuk, of course, he's done for the season with an ACL injury. Get better, get healthy fast. I wish no injuries on any players ever. They lost their starting safety or nickel corner, broke a tibia and fibia. This team is hurting, like significantly hurting. They haven't been as sharp as they have before. Of course, Christian McCaffrey hasn't played a down yet still they still average 150 yards rushing, 149 and some change. If this was a moment in time where you ever were going to be able a chance to get a jump on the Niners, now would be it. Unfortunately, you're not good and you're not healthy. DaRon Bland, I'm going to be honest with y'all, there is something that's not being told because he was practicing and supposed to be ready to go against Detroit, and now he's not even practicing anymore. So there is some sort of setback in there. Word in the street is that Micah Parsons probably not going to play this week either. Just not quite back ready from that high ankle sprain. Of course, DeMarcus Lawrence isn't going to be out there. Still waiting to see back about Eric Kendricks. He may or may not go. Don't know if he'll be 100%. It looks like Kalen Carson may be coming back. But in the moment in time where you possibly could beat your arch nemesis, you're just not good enough. And I have been on record on this show and on many other shows that I do that I truly believe this to my core, that when you break down a season, right? Like when you just break it down and hey, You should have a quarterback good enough who wheels you to about 2 or 3 victories, right? He just has those moments that he will talk about forever. You'll talk about forever where he goes throughout the season and he's just wheeling and dealing. Boom, 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 making the right throws, making the right plays, evading sacks, might be getting pulled down to the ground and still make a throw. I think your quarterback alone should go get you 2 or 3 victories a year. If you have one of that type of those tiers, right? Like Patrick Mahomes last week, they're 6-0. Patrick Mahomes didn't have a good game, but he willed his team. His defense gave him an opportunity. Then he runs and he's doing the fake thing and all that. Runs. He just makes the play. Just makes the play when you need him to make the play. But I also believe in my heart of hearts that your head coach, your coach or your coaching should be able to manufacture 1 to 2 wins a season. What do you mean by that, Jess? I mean that your coach should get so far in his duffel. I don't care if the duffel is Louis, Gucci, Goyard, YSL, Supreme, Nike, whatever. He should get so far in his duffel that he is calling the game of his life. I mean, calling the game of his life. Putting together the game. Because most coaches in modern football, not modern football, most football and all of football, you're either on one side, like your head coach is either an offensive-minded coach or a defensive-minded coach. So whatever that coach is, I feel like he should be able to put together a game plan that side of the ball, he coaches up and schemes up and calls up one of the greatest games alive, and that leads to your team winning, especially in moments where they probably shouldn't have won. And I look at these two teams and I say to myself, boy, they are hurting. Boy, we are hurting. They're not playing well. We aren't playing well. The Cowboys aren't playing well. How did this thing work out? And then I look at coaching. The Cowboys don't have the coaching advantage. Kyle Shanahan will call and coach circles around Mike McCarthy. I call him Michael from Pittsburgh. Kyle Shanahan will take whatever he has and says, what I want to do and what I should do are two different things. What I want to do requires me to have Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuels, George Kittle, Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey. What I will do now is formulate a game plan that now elevates Pascal, that elevates Jawan Jennings if he plays, and find ways to get Deebo if I have him in a limited capacity, Jordan Mason, to give Brock Purdy a different look and a different game plan. Like, Kyle is not going to keep trying to shove square shapes into round holes. And that part to me right now is when I look at this game, I'm like, it's going to be difficult for the Cowboys to win. You're both down men. I think one team believes in themselves more than the others. And then it comes down to coaching. And I think the Cowboys have the inferior coach. I think the Niners have the superior coach. And I think that will play the determining factor on how this game plays out. The Niners still have a pretty decent defense. I am a fan of Fred Warner. I'm a fan of Fred Warner a lot, like a big time. I think he's one of the best linebackers in the game. He's a phenomenal dude. The Cowboys just have so many questions. We don't know what offensive lineman they're going to go with. Some reports say that they'll put Tyler Smith back at left tackle. Some will say Tyler Guyton will go back to left tackle. It's in so much, also, it's now or never for Dalvin Cook. And let me tell you this. I think they are faced with a quandary. They are faced with a dilemma when it comes to Dalvin Cook. Because he doesn't need to be ramped up anymore. That's what the excuse they first gave us. He doesn't need to be in condition anymore. He knows the plays by now. He's been here 2.5 damn months. They signed a guy, the Chiefs signed they traded for DeAndre Hopkins 2 days ago. They're like, yeah, he's going to play on Sunday. Amari Cooper signed a week ago for the Bills. They were like, yeah, we're going to play him on Sunday. Scored a touchdown. Devontae Adams signed on Monday and played on Sunday. But here's the dilemma that the Cowboys have. And this is the internal battle between coaching and personnel people and front office people, i.e. Jerry Jones. Currently, your 3 running backs going into the games are Rico Dowdle, Ezekiel Elliott, Hunter Lipke. In order to elevate Dalvin Cook, you either have to go with 4 running backs, which most teams don't go with 4 running backs. They just don't go with 4 running backs. You also, with going with 4 running backs, means you take a jersey from another area, specifically defense, where you need those guys over there. So now you're faced with a dilemma. Well, if Rico's my starter, he's not giving up his jersey. Hunter Lipke plays all core special teams. So I'm taking a core special team guy off the field and my designated fullback / tight end, H-back. That means that potentially I now have to sit Zeke. I have to make him a healthy scratch. And to make Zeke a healthy scratch, all but admits you were probably wrong in signing Ezekiel Elliott in the first place. And then we come back to the conversation of you probably should have signed Derrick Henry. I'm off the Derrick Henry conversation, but it would be an open admission that those in the front office, i.e. Jerry Jones, was wrong. I don't think they want to admit that. Because people are going to ask, if you elevate Dalvin Cook and you keep 4 running backs, unheard of. And if you do that, then someone will be just standing on the sideline. Not enough reps. It's only you don't have enough reps to give Rico starting reps, still satisfy getting Zeke reps, play Hunter Lipke, and play Dalvin Cook. Just ain't enough reps. Somebody got to sit. I think that's a conversation that they're probably having that they don't want to have. But it'll be an open admission that you're wrong. It is messy in Cowboy country. And there is a big game coming up on Sunday Night Football, prime time. If you thought Jerry was pissed off a week or so ago after losing to Detroit in the manner in which he did, if he goes out and he gets blown out by the 49ers on Sunday Night Football, embarrassed on national TV, heads will roll. Now, y'all come back next week now. The days of our lives, the days of the Cowboy lives will be right here on Believe in the Cowboys. I'm out of here, man. Remember, like, subscribe, hit the notification button on YouTube, on the Believe networks, Believe in the Cowboys, Spotify, Apple. You can find it if you want to in the podcast form. Hit me up on Twitter at Mr. Fourth and Long. You can catch me 5 days a week. I'll be on Hanging with the Boys, Unfiltered with Jesse Holly, DLLS. I'm all over the place. I'm outside. I need you to be outside with me. Hit that like and subscribe button. Do all that kind of stuff. Put me in the group chat. Put me in the group chat. All right? All right, man. I'm out of here. Eliminate the contingencies. I'm out.